Hey guys, thanks for tuning in. Today I just wanted to share some of my top tips on taking a road trip. I've done a lot of road tripping. I've driven from Massachusetts to Alaska and then back again. Last summer I drove from Massachusetts to Oregon, and when I was living in Alaska I road tripped all throughout the state, so I definitely put many miles in there. So these are just some tips that I learned along the way, and I hope that they can help you if you're planning a trip anytime soon. First up, carry a gas can with you, especially if you're going to be traveling through remote areas. You're going to be on the Alcan or other similar densely populated areas with less frequent gas stations on the way. Anytime that I'm in remote areas and if I'm looking at my gas gauge and it's a little less than half or even half, I will stop at the gas station and fill her back up, because it's just better to be safe than sorry, especially when you're in the middle of nowhere. I had a minor panic attack in Eastern Oregon right as I passed through Idaho about gas. My light went on and I hadn't been paying close attention to the gauge, and the meter that tells you how many miles more you have just went completely blank. And my sister and I were about 13 miles to the nearest gas station, and looking back on it, I guess it wouldn't have been such a huge deal. We would have either had to hitch a ride or just walk an insane amount of miles to get some gas. Not only should you carry extra gas with you, but also pay attention to the gas gauge so you don't make the same mistake that I did. My second tip is, depending on what kind of road tripper you are, you can save incredible amounts of money by camping on the road instead of staying in hotels or Airbnbs. Although Airbnb can be cheap sometimes, make sure that when you are booking it, you also look at the price including the cleaning fee. Sometimes that can make the price go drastically up. And not only will you save money, but you'll also have so many amazing experiences camping. You get to see the nature, the outdoors, the different landscapes. It definitely adds a lot more to the trip, in my opinion. And by saving money, I mean literally paying nothing to camp. Now more than ever, there are tons of apps out there that will help you find campsites and locations on BLM land. A few of my favorites are iOverlander and Cambendium. There's also a website called freecampsites.net, which I really enjoy using. They've worked in the past for me, so I'm sure that they'd work for you too. My third tip is have an iPod, an MP3 player, a Zune, if you remember those, pre-downloaded playlists, and make sure that your choices do have variety. Get some podcasts in there, some new stuff, some old stuff. You don't want to have Born to Run stuck in your head the entire time. Or do you? And if so, I don't judge. Service will be spotty depending on where you are in the country, so don't rely on internet for your road trip music. My fourth tip is, okay, well, I know that this can be pretty hard for people who aren't used to taking road trips and vacations, and this is kind of like a once in a while type of thing, but try not to plan ahead too much. Some of the best days that I've had driving through the country have been when there is nothing in mind, no expectations, no plans, no pressure. My fifth tip is to embrace the morning. Just try to get on the road a little bit earlier in the day. That way you can actually see the scenery around you. I can't tell you how many times that I've driven through Southern Oregon and wish that I had just left a couple more hours earlier so that I could take in everything that was around me. Driving during the daylight is also a safer option because you're able to spot wildlife on the road. I dodged a number of deer in the Midwest, and in Canada there are elk that just chill on the side of the road. So be careful. Tip number 6, and this might be more important for people who have dietary restrictions, such as if you're vegan or vegetarian or you have severe food allergies, but plan ahead when it comes to your food. Don't expect a restaurant in the middle of South Dakota to have options for you if you're vegan, because I will tell you that they won't, and they'll also make you sit under a moose taxidermy head mount. Tip number 7, get your car checked out before you go. When I left on my road trip to Alaska, I noticed that there was a bulge in my tire. I got a little bit nervous because of all the miles that I would be putting on it, and I figured I might as well just bring it in and see what they have to say. Thinking about getting a flat tire in the middle of nowhere was just something that I was not ready to experience. And many places will check out your car free of charge, so it's not like you have anything to lose. Tip number 8, if you can afford it, a AAA membership is truly a lifesaver. I remember when I was younger, my grandparents used to get myself and everybody in my family AAA memberships, and I feel like I didn't realize the true value of it until now. AAA, it's a yearly membership, so depending on what state you're in, the membership is about $50 to $70 a year. They'll help you out if you have a flat, battery service, you need gas delivery, you locked your keys in your car, which I am infamous for. Tip number 9, don't just rely on the internet to give you suggestions about places to visit. Ask the locals. If you go out to eat, ask the bartender or your waiter, ask a store owner. These people live there, so they probably have suggestions that you wouldn't otherwise find online. Tip number 10, and I know that this is kind of awkward to talk about, and maybe it wasn't even something that would be on your mind because it's not really a concern of yours, but make sure that you thoroughly enjoy spending time with the person that you are going on a road trip with. You're going to be spending a significant amount of time with them, and the car isn't such a big place. The road trips that I've been on, I've done solo road trips, I've road tripped with my sister, my best friend, my boyfriend that I had at the time. So for me, I had amazing experiences, and I genuinely did like spending time with these people. So I'm hoping that what I learned along the way might help you out in the future. If you liked this video, I would appreciate a thumbs up, and if you want to see more, please subscribe. Thanks guys, see you later.